He traveled through the vibrant streets of Malaysia and the breathtaking islands of Indonesia, believing he had already seen Southeast Asia at its best, until Singapore shocked him. From the moment he arrived, it felt like stepping into a different timeline, a place where everything worked with a level of precision he didn't think was possible. The efficiency, the cleanliness, the discipline, the safety, the futuristic design, every detail made him question why the rest of the world wasn't operating like this. Singapore didn't just impress him, it reset his expectations of what a modern city could be. If you enjoy powerful comparisons, deep cultural insights, and surprising truths about countries that are changing the world, make sure you subscribe. More eye-opening explanations and global stories are coming, so stay tuned and be part of the journey. The efficiency hit him instantly. After traveling through Malaysia and Indonesia, where life is vibrant, dynamic, and sometimes unpredictable, he stepped into Singapore and immediately felt a different kind of energy, precision. Everything ran like a synchronized system. Buses arrived exactly as stated, trains moved with clock-level discipline, and queues flowed smoothly without chaos. The speed of service, the clarity of signs, and how quickly you could move from one point to another made him feel like he had landed in a country designed around convenience. He was shocked by how little time he wasted waiting, asking, or figuring out directions. In Singapore, efficiency wasn't an option, it was the norm, and that stunned him. Cleanliness that felt unreal. Malaysia and Indonesia offer rich culture and natural beauty, but Singapore's cleanliness felt almost unbelievable. Streets looked freshly washed, public toilets smelled clean, and even crowded places stayed spotless. It wasn't magic, it was a combination of strict enforcement, civic discipline, and national pride. He couldn't find trash on the roads, graffiti on walls, or overflowing bins. What shocked him more was that people didn't litter even when nobody was watching. The idea that a busy modern city could maintain this level of hygiene felt futuristic. After experiencing the usual urban mess found in most countries, Singapore's cleanliness made him feel like he had entered a perfectly maintained environment where chaos simply didn't exist. Safety that felt almost too safe. In Indonesia and Malaysia, he had wonderful experiences but remained cautious, especially at night. In Singapore, the shock was immediate, a total absence of fear. People walked freely at 2 a.m., children carried phones without worry, and women moved confidently even in quiet areas. The crime rate was so low it felt unreal. The presence of CCTV, strict laws, and a respectful society created an environment where bad behavior was rare. He realized safety wasn't just a policy, it was part of everyday life. Singapore felt like a place where danger had been engineered out of society, and that level of security changed how he viewed what a city could provide. The airport felt like entering another world. After traveling through airports across Malaysia and Indonesia, Singapore's Changi Airport shocked him instantly. It wasn't just clean or efficient, it felt like a tourist attraction by itself. Waterfalls, indoor forests, silent immigration counters, lightning-fast processing, and friendly officers made his arrival unbelievably smooth. He didn't feel like he was entering a government facility, it felt like entering a futuristic theme park. The airport wasn't just a transit point, it was an introduction to Singapore's identity, organized, beautiful, calm, and advanced. Every corner was designed for comfort, clarity, and experience. The shock came from realizing that for Singapore, even an airport wasn't just a building, it was a statement of national excellence. Public transport that redefined convenience. In Malaysia and Indonesia, transport involves variety: Grab, buses, trains, scooters, ferries, each with strengths and limitations. But Singapore's MRT system shocked him with its speed, reliability, and simplicity. Trains came every few minutes, stations were spotless, and maps were perfectly clear. No bargaining, no unpredictability, no long waits, just smooth, consistent movement. The buses were equally organized, cashless, and air-conditioned. What shocked him most was how public transport made owning a car unnecessary. Even wealthy people chose trains because they were simply more efficient. He realized Singapore had solved a problem most cities still struggle with, giving everyone fast, affordable, stress-free mobility. Technology everywhere, without feeling overwhelming. Singapore shocked him with how deeply technology was woven into everyday life, but in a smooth, silent way. Payments were cashless by default, QR codes everywhere, government services worked through apps, and there was free Wi-Fi at many public places. But what surprised him was how natural it felt. He didn't need tutorials, guides, or complicated steps. Everything was intuitive. Compared to Malaysia and Indonesia, where technology is expanding rapidly but sometimes unevenly, Singapore felt like a fully integrated digital ecosystem. Mundane tasks, topping up transport cards, booking appointments, paying bills, took seconds. It showed him what it feels like to live in a society built around smart convenience rather than frustration. The discipline of everyday life. After observing daily habits in Malaysia and Indonesia, he expected similar rhythms in Singapore, but he was shocked by the level of discipline in ordinary moments. People returned trays at hawker centers, didn't talk loudly on trains, respected privacy, and rarely broke lines. This wasn't silent enforcement, it was internalized behavior. Children, adults, and seniors all followed the same conduct. It made public spaces calmer, more efficient, and more respectful. He understood that Singapore's success wasn't just about money or technology, it was the collective discipline of millions moving in the same direction. A food culture that mixed cleanliness with flavor. Malaysia and Indonesia are famous for incredible food, and Singapore didn't shock him with taste, it shocked him with structure. Hawker centers were clean, regulated, graded, and affordable. You could eat street food without worrying about hygiene. The variety was huge: Malay, Indian, Chinese, Indonesian, Western, fusion, yet everything remained orderly. He saw elderly uncles and young chefs mastering dishes with decades of tradition. It felt like the perfect balance between street culture and safety standards. Singapore didn't replace authentic flavors, it preserved them with world-class cleanliness. A work culture driven by performance, not drama. In many countries, workplace culture can include hierarchy, delays, and inefficiencies. Singapore shocked him with its fast, direct, and performance-based work style. Meetings were short. Deadlines were real. Communication was clear. He saw how industries moved quickly without chaos. People respected time, worked efficiently, and balanced productivity with professionalism. It wasn't about showing off effort, it was about delivering results. The speed and clarity made him realize why global companies prefer Singapore as a regional hub. How safe and polite the people were. Singaporeans surprised him not just with discipline but with politeness. They didn't push, argue, or raise their voices unnecessarily. Customer service was structured, helpful, and clear. Even when refusing something, people used soft, respectful language. Coming from warmer, more expressive cultures like Malaysia and Indonesia, the calm politeness of Singapore felt refreshing and sometimes shocking. It created a peaceful public atmosphere that made daily life feel smoother and less stressful.